Hi guys, it's Dakota. Hope everybody's doing well. Today I want to talk about me and my dream job. That's one of the things that I have consistently have people when they come into the store, oh, this is my dream job. I would love to have a metaphysical store. Oh, I would love to work here. That kind of thing. So what I want to talk about is behind the scenes, because I know that when you walk in, the first thing that hits you is the smell. It smells so good in there with all the herbs and the incense, our candles, the oils, just everything just kind of blends together, and it just has this unique smell. I wish I could bottle it because I would be retired by now, but I can't. So it just has this really healing spiritual smell about it. I can't describe it to you. If you've ever been into a metaphysical store that has a lot of those things, then you probably know what I'm talking about. They just are like smell good stores, and they just kind of make you feel good when as soon as you walk in. So then there's this illusion of all the shiny crystals, and the spheres are everywhere, and we have things hanging from the ceiling. We've got flags, we've got banners, and just it's just the lights and the music and everything is just aesthetically touches your senses when you walk in. But although I'm a witch, I'm not a witch that can go ding, 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 and it just appears that way. Um, Everything that you see has been worked, meaning from the time I get there, you've seen me, or if not, I'm on the computer. I spend a good majority of my day ordering. The orders come in, they go into our back room, which is called our dungeon, and the staff is back there unpacking. They have to unpack everything. They have to check every single thing that comes in a box. So if you ordered 5 statues, all 5 statues, the same statue, but you got 5 of them, whatever it was, all of them would have to be opened. Every box has to be opened. We check our merchandise when it comes in to make sure that nothing is broken or chipped, damaged in any way, because all those things then have to go back to the company. And then everything has to be priced, tagged, put out on the floor. Before it can be put out on the floor, wherever it's going to go, that has to be cleaned, it has to be straightened. Um, and then you have the back stock. So then you have to find a place to put your back stock. Throughout the day, the store has to be restocked. We sell a lot of things. We sell a lot of ritual candles, a lot of ritual things. We sell a ton of herbs, a ton of incense, a ton of stuff, a ton of everything. We sell so much stuff that has to be restocked constantly. So there's a lot of work that goes on. All right. But besides all of that, and so no, we don't get to spend the day walking around oohing and awing over all the stones and looking and reading the books and all of that. We don't have time for that because we're working. So, but besides all of the oohs and the ahs, because I do feel I guess I feel blessed that I have worked so hard to have a metaphysical store. And really, it just sort of manifested itself because I used to have an antique store with a very, very small metaphysical section. And the metaphysical section started growing, and it just sort of pushed the antiques out of the picture. So then we just became a full-on metaphysical store. And so I'm really grateful about that. But guess what? That didn't just, it doesn't, again, I didn't do this and it just happened. There's so much work that goes into it. But if you're like me and you are a worker and you're motivated and inspired and driven and all of that, and you don't mind the hard work. And when I say the hard work, that's what I'm talking about. The lifting boxes, the moving, the the cleaning and all that. And it's not just me. I have a staff. I do. And we all share. But let's talk about some of the other things that maybe you don't realize or haven't really thought about. And that's this stuff. Whether you, and I'm really only talking about a physical store, so this doesn't really apply too much if you have an online store, which I do not have an online store. We only have our Facebook page, which is The Peddler and the Crow, by the way. It's linked at the bottom. But it is, anyway, I don't have an online store website. So, but here's the thing. So whether you're going to have a physical store, if you're going to have a physical store, maybe you're going to rent the spot, or maybe you're going to buy the spot, or maybe you already have a spot that is zoned commercial, and so you can, open up your business right there, and maybe, hopefully, it would be paid for already. But if it's not, then you would have a mortgage. So you're going to have, just off the top, rent and or mortgage, okay? We'll just call it rent for now. So you're going to have your rent. Well, then you're also going to have, now you have a roof over your head. You have to get your lights on. So you have your overhead. You got lights. You have to have a phone. You have to have the internet. I would assume you're going to want the internet. You're going to, because that's where you're going to find your suppliers and your distributors. That's where you're going to do your ordering, is through the internet. You're going to have a credit card machine, because we tried years and years and 100 years ago when we had an antique business, we tried cash only sales. Nobody carries cash, especially in today's world. So you're going to have some kind of credit card machine, and you have a choice. You can either buy it, which is a few $100s, or you can rent it from the bank, which there's a monthly rent. But even if you buy it, okay, even if you own it, like we have a monthly maintenance fee on ours, so we bought ours. But if there is a power outage, like a whatever you call it, and it blows up your system or something, the maintenance takes care of that, and we get free paper for it, for having this maintenance thing. Besides all that, we get charged a transaction fee. So if you bought something, and whatever the percentage is, I don't know, but I know what mine is. I'm not going to divulge that here. But when a customer comes in and let's say they buy something for $20 and they run their credit card, the credit card company, your bank, gets a percentage of that. So every time you swipe a card, the company gets a percentage, plus sometimes credit card companies also charge a per swipe fee, and that could be however much that is. It could be 10 cents, who knows? But you swipe it, let's just say it's 10 cents. You swipe it, that costs you 10 cents, plus the sale was $100. The credit card company gets a percentage of that sale. So that automatically comes out of your bank in most cases. So you have that. Now let's talk about, then you've got your insurance for the store. You have taxes, which sometimes you have to pay your state tax. If it's a $10 item here in Eastern North Carolina, it's 7% tax. So your total is $10.70. So for me, we have to pay state tax every month. Some stores only have to pay quarterly. There's different setups. I pay every month. So whatever my total is in state tax that I collected at the end of the month, boom, I gotta send off to the IRS the state tax. So if I have taken the money that I've collected over the month and I've spent it on orders, not not thinking about, don't forget, at the end of the month, you got to pay the taxes, and I've spent the money. Well, that 70 cents I collected, that didn't belong to me. But it was part of, I ordered something, and I went down to, zero balance in my bank. um, the IRS wants their money. So the state wants their money. And then at the end of the month, you don't have the state tax to pay them because you spent it on inventory. That's a no-no. So you have to learn how to budget that money and keep that state tax, out of your pocket, because it doesn't belong to you. And I've known a few stores that thought, oh, well, by the time the end of the month comes, I will have sold so much stuff that I'll have the money to pay the state tax. But then they had a really slow month and they didn't have enough money to pay the state tax. You do that a couple of times and you're going to be in trouble with the IRS, which they were, and they're no longer in business. And I'm telling you right now, that was not pretty. They got in a lot of trouble. They got in a lot of trouble for that. So you don't want to do that. So that is something that you have to remember, that, you're going to have to pay your taxes. So there's a lot of overhead, money-wise, that you have to think about. And that's all stuff that you have to think about before your inventory. Now let's talk about the inventory. All right, there's several distributors and there's several, or suppliers, whatever you want to call them, out there that you'll be ordering from. And this is if you're going to order, and we're going to talk about if you're a crafter in a second here. But if you're going to order, most of your distributors and your suppliers have a minimum dollar amount that you have to order in order for you to get your shipment, to get your stuff. So let's just say, and I'm going to say on the average, it's probably right at about $300. So anywhere from 100 to 500, you see that fairly often. Could be more, could be less, but let's just use $300 as an example. So let's say I'm going to order from company A, and they have a $300 minimum order. So I put together my order, and I'm ordering $500 worth of merchandise. So I've made the 300, yay. Well, when you get ready to submit your order, the majority of companies, I think there might be a handful out there still, where you can set up terms with them, like a net 10 or a net 30. What that means is they're giving you 10 days to pay or 30 days to pay. But in order to do that, they will have sent you a form that you have to fill out. Speaking of forms, don't forget, you got to get your business license, your resale license. You got to have that. Costs money. Not much, but anyway, you have to have a resale license. I don't know how it is in other states. It could be more or less. You'll have to fill out a form, a credit form, showing all kinds of stuff. It'll your resale number, your income, other people that you have credit with, that kind of thing, because they want to make sure that you can pay your bills. Most companies don't do that now. Most companies have pay up front. So you put your order in, it's $500. They only have a $300 minimum, but you have to pay with your credit card. You have to pay up front before they will even process your order. So boom, you pay with your credit card. And then you'll get your merchandise. So yay. But at the end of the month, you also get your credit card statement. You get your credit card bill, your Visa bill, your MasterCard bill, whatever, however you've paid it, you get that bill. So, and again, a lot of people think, oh, well, I ordered $500 worth of merchandise. As soon as it gets here, I'll sell it and I'll have $500. But if it's been a slow month, and don't forget, it's not just the $500. Your rent, your insurance, the lights, the credit cards, your internet, all of those things, those all have to be paid. They all have to be paid. So, that credit card statement, 500, and I don't know, do you pay off the complete 500? Well, I don't have that kind of money in my bank. So then I'm assuming you just make the minimum payment. Well, yeah, okay, well, then you've paid interest. So that 500 is no longer 500, it's 500 plus interest. So it adds up. It adds up. So you have to make sure that you know how to budget for slow times, because trust me, there's going to be slow times. There was no slower time for me than when we were quarantined for 2 months and my store was closed. So there's going to be those times. And guess what? The light company they didn't care. Either did the internet company, either did the phone company. They don't care. They want their money. So there you go. All right, so you have all of that overhead, all right? You have your overhead. And if you have an employee, if you have staff, then you better worry about them also, because they're going to be very mad at the end of the week or the month or however you pay your employees if you say to them, gee, well, it's been a slow month. I'm sorry, I don't have the money to pay you. Well, that's not going to work out for them. Let's say you don't have an employee. You work your store yourself. Fantastic. Now you don't have to worry about your employees and workers' comp and all that stuff. Is there enough money at the end of the month for you to pay yourself? Maybe you have a significant other, a partner or whatever, that they take care of all the money, and this is just your fun job, your thing that you do. So you don't have to worry about getting a paycheck. Well, that's great. But if you do have to worry about getting a paycheck, have you made enough? So at the end of the month, you can pay your mortgage or your rent for your house, your light bills, your credit card, your food bills. I mean, what about you? Right? So you have to think about yourself as well. So we have that. If you are open, let's say you're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. Those are your hours, Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. You run the store yourself because you don't want to have to worry about paying an employee. So your hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 5. Gosh, it's been such a slow week. I'm going to close early. It's Friday. I want to go home. I'm going to close. No one's come in today. It's really slow. I've only made, a couple sales. I'm going to go ahead and go home. Take a long weekend. Okay, great. Have a nice weekend. I'm working this job, and I get off at 5 o'clock. But I need my sage, or I need some candles, or I need something. And so I asked my boss, can I get off a half an hour early? He says, sure, but I lose that half an hour pay. That's okay, because I need my stuff, right? Because I'm having ritual this weekend. So I lose a half an hour pay. I leave my job at 4:30. I get to your store at 4:45. You don't close till 5 o'clock, but you left early. You're not there. Now I've lost a half an hour worth of pay, and I don't have my supplies because it was slow and you wanted to go home early. I mean, you can't do that. Or you can, but you won't be in business long. Now, there are such things as emergencies. They happen. I understand that. Maybe you are the only person that runs your store, and you have a child who's in school. The school calls, child is sick. You've got to close your store, go get the child. The child is too sick to come to work. You put a note on the door, closed for emergency, sorry. I'm going to be a little irritated just because I lost a half an hour pay and I don't have anything. I don't have my supplies. But emergencies happen. I'm compassionate. I get it. I understand. I'm cool with that. Okay, fine. I get it. I'm kind of mad, but I get it, right? Emergencies happen. When it becomes consistent, because kids get sick at school, things happen. And, well, that happens again, I'm done. I'm not coming back. Either are my friends, because I've told everybody. I've told everybody that you always close early, or whatever story it is that I've told. So, so that is not a good idea. Emergencies happen, I understand that, but emergencies are not consistent. And if emergencies are consistent, then perhaps you shouldn't have a physical store, because you're not going to be in business very long. And you've lost a sale. You've lost money coming in, which might have been enough to pay for your phone bill or your, whatever, your internet bill or something. And now you've lost that money. Okay. The other thing is consigners. Well, since I don't have, I'm only going to have, I'm not going to have enough merchandise to fill the whole store. So I'm going to do consigners because that way, if other people can bring stuff in, I'll have a full store. And and that's fantastic. I'm nothing against consigners. I used to consign all the time until this started happening. And that was, well, the consigner wasn't making any money, but they owed me rent because I'm renting you this space for X amount of dollars a month. This is your space. You maintain it. You have to keep it clean. You have to keep it stocked because I have certain, protocol for my store. And but I'm really sorry. It's been really slow this month. Here's your check. It's only for $50. Your rent is $100. Well, I don't even have enough money for rent. That's not my problem, And so now, and they can't pay me the extra 50 because they need that 50 to pay their own rent at their own house. So it's like this hamster on a wheel. It's a tumbleweed. It's a tumbleweed. So then I don't have their rent, and that's $100 that I don't have in my pocket that I was going to use to pay this. So I don't do consigners anymore for that reason. Plus there's a theft thing and there's a broken item thing that I don't want to deal with. Who gets responsible for that? All of that would need to be written up in your contract, and it's just too much for me. I don't want to deal with that. So let's go back to the inventory. So I have about 2,000 square foot shop. It's not giant, it's like a 2,000 square foot shop. Please do not like this. Don't get a loan to open your business. Do not get a loan to open your business. I mean, $10,000. Let's just say a $10,000 loan. $10,000 is a lot of money to me. I don't know about you, but $10,000 is a lot of money. But guess what? That's not enough to fill your store. Not 2,000 square feet. You're not going to fill it. Not with $10,000. So let's just say $10,000, right? Okay. And let's just say that the $10,000 does fill your store. Great, awesome. Well, now you've got rent, overhead, insurance, taxes, blah, 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 blah. And now you have a loan payment. You started your store $10,000 in the hole, 10,000 plus, because that's not 10,000 straight. There's a percentage, interest. There's interest. On that $10,000 guarantee there is, but that's how banks make their money. So it's 10,000 plus interest, and it might be great interest rates. Great interest rates. I got a good deal. You didn't get $10,000. You got 10,000 plus this great deal on interest. So you're still paying more than $10,000. So when you have that slow month, you still have to pay that loan. You're already in the rabbit hole. You're already in the hole. It takes years to get out of that hole. You can say, oh, well, we had a great month. It's a great month. I got my bills paid, and there was an extra X amount of dollars left over. Great. You should have applied that to your loan to get rid of that loan because you didn't profit anything because you still have a loan. You're still in the hole, So you have to think about that. So it's really a good idea to start small, start as a consigner, rent a little space. See if anybody's even interested in what it is that you have to offer. What about your community? What does your community want? If you're a crafter and you think that you're going to open a store and it's going to be, because I'm telling you, this is what I did. This is what I did when I opened my store. We have a small kitchen. I have, a sink and a refrigerator and a microwave. It's a little kitchen. And I had a little tiny, one of those little tiny apartment-sized stove and oven in there. The idea was, because I do make some product for my store, I make oils, and I used to make candles. I don't anymore, haven't in the last couple of years. But, I make some jewelry and stuff like that for the store. But here was my thought process when I was opening the store and designing this kitchen. This will be great. I will make my product here at the store instead of doing it on my day off or when I get home from work. That's crazy. I'm at the store. I'll just do it at the store. Really? So you're in the middle of doing something like candles, which, your wax is melting, and there's a pour if you're doing a double pour. I mean, there's time limits, time things, that restraints or limits, whatever it is, that you have to go by, and you're right in the middle of it, and now a customer walks in. Now what do you do? Now what do you do? Oh, sorry, I can't help you right now. I have to finish this. I have to finish pouring my wax. That's not good business. So that didn't happen. I mean, I did that for like maybe a month, and then it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So if you think you're going to be able to craft while you're at work, it doesn't work. But I will tell you this: if you're able to craft in your store, are you selling enough inventory? Do you have enough customers coming in that you can take that amount of time to do your crafting? I mean, so, and maybe some can, maybe some can. I cannot in my store. And that's not to say that, oh my God, this is crazy. And no, it isn't. Sometimes it is, but no, sometimes it's very, very slow. When it's very, very slow, that's catch up time. Let's catch up. Get in the stock room, reorganize, throw the trash away, get everything organized, because when it's busy, things just get tossed and thrown around. That's what happens. Let's clean, let's reorganize, let's move some stuff around, give the store a new look, be productive. So crafting, at least for me in my store, doesn't work. Like, I can't do it when I'm in my store. So, because customer first. So there's that. But I think the main thing is the loan. I would really highly suggest that you don't take a loan. Start out small. See what your community wants. See if you have what it takes to keep up with it. See if your product is selling, even if you have to order things. Is it selling? And and a shout out to those of you that do have online stores, whether it's your own website or you're doing eBay, Amazon, Etsy, or whatever they are. I always wondered, because there's been times that I've thought, gee, I do have time to make items, and it would be fun to sell a few things online. But my thing is this: how does somebody find your store? Because I've been on Etsy where I've looked for maybe a specific jewelry. I mean, I want it to be, witchcraft jewelry or Wiccan jewelry or pagan jewelry, or, and there must be hundreds, hundreds of stores. And I'm only willing to go, to surf so many pages. So how do I find your store if you're selling Wiccan jewelry or witchcraft jewelry, or you're selling, handcrafted, whatever, essential oils? I need a prosperity oil. Woo! There's like hundreds of them. Or even if you have a website, like your own website. There was, I'm not sure if it was in Forbes or if it was an article, or however, whatever, I read it, that the majority of people will only surf, like a search engine like Google or something like that. And let's say they're looking for something like prosperity oils. They're only willing to go like 3 pages. They usually don't go more than 3 pages. So if your store is not on those 3, how do people find you? I mean, like, how do they find you? And is it worth, because I know, I mean, there are some free sites out there, but I know that unless you have a paid domain, you're way down, like you're way down on the list. So I'm just curious, how does one find you unless one knows your name? So anyway, if anybody knows that and has that answer, like, that would be awesome. Leave me a comment below and let me know. Because heck, who knows? Maybe it's something, that I can use. Um, but anyway, so that was what I wanted to talk about because, we all kind of get a little chuckle out of that. Like, oh, you have my dream job. And I'm thinking, really, I don't think it's not your dream job. Seriously, it's not. We do not get to hang out in the store in that respect. We are in work mode. And that's another thing. We're in work mode when we're in the store. I mean, we're as soon as a customer walks in that door, like we are customer service. We are about the customer. I want to make sure that my customers get what they need, and so it's a whole different mindset than just coming in to shop and look at all the pretties and stuff like that. So I go to other stores to do that when I want to look. I know it sounds weird, but it's true. You can ask anybody. I go to different stores when I need my fix, and I've had store owners go, "You have a store. Why are you coming here? Don't you sell those in your store?" "Yeah, I do, but I don't know. It's different here in your store." It's weird. So anyway, there you go. I hope that this has helped. There's just a lot to it. There's a lot to it. And those are things that need to be really thought out and really planned and really budgeted for, because it's not easy. You think that because it's your passion and it's your thing, and you think you have this great idea of what people might want, and that's true. But when you think that 10, how many people out of 10 people that come into your store, dollar wise, what are they spending? Average that out, and like at the end of the day, average that out, how many people came in, what your total was, and average that out and see how much an hour your store is making. And then always ask yourself this question: at the end of the day, after I've paid the rent and all of the things, am I making money? Because I don't say that out of greed. I say that out of efficiency. You need to eat. You need to pay your mortgage, your car payment, whatever, your credit card payment, whatever it is. So if you have somebody that is helping out, then that's fantastic. But if it is you, just remember all of those things, and and work. You gotta work. You gotta be able to sacrifice and work. So that being said, today is Monday. It's my day off. I'm going to get off of here, and I'm going to jump online and do some ordering for the store. So see you next time. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Bye.